think we're going. Okay. Hi, welcome. Get ready with me while I talk about the Stay a Spell series by Juliette Cross. Yeah, it's very quickly become one of my favorites. I sort of talked about it in the last video I made, at least the first book, but I just want to get more into it because I love it. I love it. But I'm going to get ready as I do this. So, alright. So, the first book in the Stay a Spell series is Wolf Gone Wild, and it's about Mateo and Evie, our gal. So each book is about a different sister. So Evie's the first sister that we get to really find out about. Oh my god, I love them. They're so cute. But basically Evie's a hexbreaker. And rewind. This takes place in New Orleans. There's witches, werewolves, or wolves. There's vampires, grim reapers, or just reapers. Is there another thing? Oh, no. The grim reapers are just called grims. So that's why I confused myself. But basically, in this book, like, Evie's really nerdy and really cute. Like, she is really into, like, comic books and everything. And then Mateo is a sculptor, because wolves in this universe all have, like, a talent. So, because, like, the wolf, like, being a wolf is, like, a curse, but then they get the gift of having, like, different art forms and everything. So his is, like, sculpting, and they meet because he thinks he's been hexed, and Evie's a hexbreaker, and he needs help, and the witches don't associate with the wolves at all, but Evie, like, is like, no, I'll give this a chance, and try and help him. Oh my gosh, they're so cute from, like, the get-go, and it's very much like possessive alpha male, whatever, but also not, question mark. It's a little cheesy. No, it's not a little. It's cheesy. But I love it. I love it. And I feel like as the books get further along, it gets less and less cheesy. I actually haven't looked into this author that much, but I feel like she just got more confident in what she was writing, or just more comfortable in it, or at least that's what it feels like as you're going through these books. And I'm absolutely obsessed. And then if you don't like... And I know my boyfriend... Actually, hold up. My boyfriend hates watching me put in my contacts and take them out, because he doesn't like me, or people in general, touching their eyeballs, which I think is really funny, because I have been wearing contacts since I was in 5th grade. So, to say I'm comfortable with this is an understatement. Like, this does not faze me. And then he also really hates, like, if we're, like, in bed or something, and I'm like, hey, can you, like, go throw away my contacts for me, and I try to hand them to him, he'll do it, but he hates it. He hates touching the contacts. He thinks they're gross. And then my contact girlies out there, like, they get everywhere. Like, I don't know why all of my contacts are everywhere but the trash can where I put them, because I wear dailies. How are they everywhere? It does not make sense to me. But yeah. Also, I'm really bad at taking off my mascara. I don't know if anybody else is. I'm going to take a shower later because I'm going to go work out. That's what I'm getting ready for. So we're not doing anything crazy. Maybe at max, like, a little bit of mascara just in case I decide to go to, like, get coffee afterwards. But that would kind of be the extent. But I'm trying to get back into working out. This is me just chatting now. I'm trying to get back into working out because, like, I used to be, like, a really big athlete. Like, I did gymnastics for 9 years. Like, I did some competing, not as much as a lot of, like, a few other girls that were in my group, but I did some of it, and, like, not doing it now is just crazy. But then I also did soccer since I was like 3 up until my senior year of high school, but then I got 2 concussions. It was really rough. But basically, I've always been a sport gal. And then I tried track. I discovered I don't, no hate on the running girlies, but like I don't like running without a purpose. And like, cause in soccer I could run forever, but I think it's cause I wasn't focusing on running and like finishing the run, but like, oh, get to the ball, oh, mark this person, oh, cut them. There was things to occupy my mind other than like, oh, we're just running right now. And I hate that. I hate just running. But my brother, on the other hand, loves running. He's in cross country. I don't know how he got into cross country because, well, he did track first, which makes more sense for my family, because he also did soccer, because my dad's a big soccer guy. My dad coached the boys high school team. My dad coached me when I was a little kid, but then my dad played in like college, and like he got to go like travel the world with it. Really cool. You're not going to be able to look him up and find him, okay? He wasn't that good, but like he got to go to like different camps and stuff and really cool stuff. And it's fun to hear stories and like meet guys that he played with, because there's a lot of people that are still like very much into soccer that he played with. But he was really strong about like getting my brother and I into soccer when we were little kids, just because like how much he loved it and how much like it affected his life. And I love soccer. I'm a certified ref in the state of Ohio. I coach little kids soccer during the like spring. It's like spring and summer. I like go watch Columbus Crew. I'm probably gonna mention them a lot, but I love soccer. But yeah, actually, hold up. Let me finish rubbing this into my face. Yeah! Yeah! I love the Columbus Crew. We go to at least one game a year. Just because they're not awfully priced, but also, like, money's money, man. It builds up when you're trying to take multiple people to go see a Crew game. Back to books. I like getting sidetracked. I think I'm fine. But yeah, anyways, books. So that was book 1, Wolf Gone Wild. So cute. I randomly picked it up one day, and I was like, I kind of like an alpha guy sometimes. I am an independent queen now. Sometimes. But it was really good, really cute, really nerdy. Like, she's very much into comics, as I mentioned before, so, like, they kind of play into that a bit, and she likes her silly patterns and everything, and I love, because while I'm not wearing any right now, I do eat up some silly patterns. Also, Smosh. Love Smosh. I dressed up as the Chosen. I'll put the picture with my boyfriend and our best friend, Jacob. Okay? We did it for a frat party. It was my second frat party ever. It was fun. But it was interesting, to say the least. I was like, yeah, this is a one and done. Well, 2. I went to 1 before and I stayed for 15 minutes. I don't know if that really counts. But we dressed up as the Chosen. It was super fun, super great. I did, however, add like these little like star and moon fishnets that I had. Just for like a witch costume I had worn previously. It was great. It was great. Anyways, book. Where is book 2? Here's book 2. Don't Hex and Drive, which is about, yeah, Isadora and Devraj, I think. We know I'm bad at pronouncing things, okay? I couldn't say editing the other day, alright? My speech is really bad. Anyways, but he hits her with his car. That's how they first, like, literally run into each other. It's so cute. She likes to ride her bike everywhere. She's just so, like, sweet, and she loves to garden. It's so good. But, Devraj is a vampire. He Let me see. Yeah, he's 300 years old. He's like a vampire warrior type guy, which is like the elite, whatever. So he's super cool. But then also, like over his 300 years, he's been in a lot of films. So he's pretty famous and he gets recognized and like people just like drool over him, which I think is really funny because like she's like, don't do that. But it's funny. I love them and I love the titles. Like, don't hex and drive. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. It's great. But, oh yeah, Isadora is not a people person. Okay? I'm not a people person. I wish I was. I wish I could have, like, a big friend group, whatever. But I literally, like, wrote out a list of, like, my friends because I'm trying to figure... I turn 20 soon. So I'm trying to figure out, oh, who I'm going to invite. I need to expand my circle because I named my two, because Caden, my boyfriend, said I wasn't allowed to include him. He's like, I'm a given, you can't include me. Which is fair. And we're long distance now, so I do need to find friends around here. But, so I had my best friend Jaden, our mutual friend Jacob, Becca, and now it's getting tight. And then I wrote down Caden's, like, sister, his brother's girlfriend, Grace, love her. I wrote down my brother. I was like, I can count him, right? Because we're becoming friends, finally, after years of just, like, feuding. But I forget what they have to, like, do. Oh, I read this a couple months ago. Oh yeah, she runs like a little shop, and then her twin sister runs a book club that they host in there. I think that's, yeah, it's Clara, and this is the last book, so we'll get to here, but yeah, it's super cute, hey? I forget, they have to work on something together, and that's why they're like, oh, it's literally right in front of my face, but there's, like, people disappearing, and since he's, like, a warrior, and then she's, like, pretty high up in the witches, like, they work together to try and figure it out, and it's super sweet, and it's, like, forced proximity, sort of, because they have to work together, and then, like, he hits her with his car. Meet cute, am I right? But yeah, it's funny, it's cute, it's silly. This has gotten away from me also getting ready at the same time. I can't multitask. Why do I keep setting myself up for failure? But Witches Get Stitches is the third book. This one's about Violet and then, what's his name? Nico. Nico is Mateo from book 1's cousin. So he's also a wolf. And then he's a tattoo artist. Wait, no. She's a tattoo artist. And he's like a musician. And they're so freaking cute. I'm pretty sure they had like a one-night stand initially or something like that. I think so. I think that's what happens in this one. Maybe if I just read the back. Yes, they did have a one-night stand 2 years prior to when, like, majority of this takes place. So then when Mateo, like, you know, is with Evie and everything, so Nico's around sometimes, and then they see each other, and then, like... And then Violet's not very good at relationships. She's always, like, with someone new. She can't stay very long. Her attention's very easily lost. So she's just, like... Oh, and then she's, like... I forget what they call it. Yeah, she's a seer, so that's, like, her witch power, because all witches have, like, a specific thing. So, like, there's auras, there's... Stop wiggling. But there's, like, auras, which can, like, help, like, feel other people's emotions or see it, and then, like, they can, like, help them, like, be happier, they can change their emotions. And then seers, like, are more adapt to, like, seeing things, like, their third eye sort of thing. But yeah. Basically, they work on together, I don't know if this is spoiling, but they work on getting, like, making... She goes and learns this different type of, like, magic that she can imbue into her tattoos, like, with her seer magic to help control the wolves inside the wolf shifters, whatever. Because, like, sometimes they just take over, especially on full moons, or sometimes it just makes them more angry, like, and adept to, like, fighting and, like, hurting other people, and it's really hard. But yes, witches get stitches, but basically they work on finding a way to help the wolves control their, you know, anger issues and everything through these tattoos that Violet imbues her magic into, which is really cool. And they kind of, like, help break away some of the, like, stigma against the wolves in this, like, magical society. But they're a magical society hidden in, like, the world, so, like, there's still, like, everything normal about the world, but then this is just, like, another layer, which I loved, right? But it's not usually my cup of tea, because when I first picked up these books, I was like, well, I love that it's based in New Orleans, but I also don't know, because, like, I'm not a big reality type gal, but I feel like there's enough fantasy mixed in that it's perfect. But then number 4 is always practice safe hex. I think it's so funny. And then, so it's Livy and Gareth. So Gareth is a Grimm, so like a Reaper type thing. And then I forget if he's... Yeah, he's like... Oh, that's something... I'm not gonna tell you, because I'm trying to avoid spoiling things. But basically they work together on, like, a business, like, competition thing where they get teamed up at the end and they have to work together to make this, like, project or whatever. But then, so Grimms, their magic isn't, like, widely known amongst the other supernaturals. They're very secretive. Like, nobody really knows what they can do, what they do. All they know is that they're really good at tech, and then they kind of hang out with the vampires a lot. And then Gareth grew up in, like, foster homes and everything, like human foster homes. So he's proposing that basically that there be a supernatural foster care system, because he went through some very traumatic things going through the human foster system as not a human, because then, like, when they're going through puberty, their magic flares up and everything, and, like, these Grimms with their, like, different magic, like, it doesn't work well when no one around you can help you. So it's really sweet. You get your first kind of, like, glimpse at what the Grimms are, because then there's another one with a Grimm. But yeah. And then... yeah, that's kind of it. They just, like, run a lot of projects. Oh, and then there is a little bit of, like, assaulty type stuff in this one. Not by Garrett, of course. But I think it's not crazy, okay? It's, like, very much like office workspace, like, a guy just can't take no. Which, bad. But I think the way they handle it definitely shows, like, how people, like, women can feel, or just people in general can feel when that stuff is happening, especially in, like, the workplace, because you don't want to, like, cause a problem. But I definitely think that was portrayed in this, and then, like, Garrett's like, what the F, bro, you got, no, who cares if it's a problem? Like, just report the people who do bad things. If they didn't want bad things to happen, they wouldn't have done that, like, type of attitude, which I think is very important, because, yeah, no, you shouldn't make yourself hide someone else's dirty secret, because you're scared of the problems it'll cause, even though they're the one that did something bad or wrong. Like, you didn't do anything wrong. So, I think that's very important. Hold on, I'm actually trying to get ready while I do this. Oh, should I? No, we're just doing a ponytail. But then, as a girl with an RBF, I love this title, alright? It's a resting witch face, alright? I love it. But it's about Juliette and then, what's his name? Reuben. So Reuben's in charge of the vampires, and then, Jules is in Did I say Jules before? I don't know. Guess we'll have to fix that later. But then Jules is in charge of the witches. She is a enforcer, which is a type of witch, which is really, like, cool, powerful, whatever. It's very much better explained in the books, of course. But then they used to be a thing, which is hinted out all throughout these books, because there's tension, but nobody's, like, really, like, explained what happened between them to make it go all wrong. But then Reuben's a vampire, of course. So they're basically on this campaign to convince all the other witch guilds, the witch guilds are just in charge of all the supernaturals, but it's just called the Witch Guild, which they also are trying to change. But they're trying to have the witch guilds open up a seat for wolves, because the wolves have been kept out and just kind of, like, outcasted. So they're traveling around the world talking to all the other witch guilds, and then their exes, and it's kind of like a second chance, and I love it. I love it because the tension building up between these two characters, like, you get perspectives of everyone else except these two, basically, except two other characters in the next book, but, like, it just keeps building up, and you're like, well, they're gonna get back together. Like, you can tell from the first book, okay? You can tell, but it's just like, when? How? Like, is something gonna go wrong that they actually don't? And it was too much. Too much. And I was reading so fast through the other ones to get to this. And I'm so happy it wasn't the last one, because I literally, like, I love all the other books and I love those characters, but, like, knowing this was building up from book 1 really, really got ya, like, needing to read it. But yeah, love it. They're so cutie. And then the last one, which was honestly low-key, despite how much I anticipated and loved that last read, kind of my favorite. It's Grim and Barrett, so another Grim Reaper. It's Gareth's brother? Garrett's brother? Brother or, like, cousin, but Henry. And then Clara. Clara is Isadora's twin sister. There's a lot of twins amongst the sisters. And she has, like, her little book club, and she's just, like, the sweetest. She's an aura, I think. Yes, she's an aura, but she's just always this happy and, like, confident and, like, but sometimes a little shy, but, like, also not, and she's just this very bubbly personality that, like, doesn't give a crap about anybody. Like, if somebody doesn't, like, she sings a lot. She's awful at singing. She confirms in this that she's aware that she's awful at singing. But she's like, I don't care because it makes me happy. And it's kind of her attitude towards everything, and I love it. And building up because these two, like, have been circling each other for a while now. And the whole time you're, like, looking from the outside, and it kind of seems like she's, like, just, like, oh, cutesy, whatever, like, not very, like, assertive. But then in here you see, like, she's, like, no, this is gonna happen whether he likes it or not, and here are my steps to make it happen. Here are my steps to make us happen. And she's very, like, confident in herself in, like, almost all aspects of herself. Like, her appearance, and then, like, just her personality, but then even sexually, and I'm like, girl, slay queen. And I love it for her, for them, and he is a Grimm, and he has a lot of trauma. He's also a necromancer, which we find out, in an earlier book, and that has, like, a lot of, like, trauma, whatever, for him, and it's just, they're so sweet, and this actually turned into my favorite one out of the entire series, which is surprising to me. I just love it. So go read these, people. Go read them. Go read them. Go read them.